Welcome to the 2018 State Bar of Texas Law Day celebration. My name's Trey Apfel. I'm the Executive Director of the State Bar, and in that capacity I'm delighted to have you here so we can honor our contest award winners. On behalf of the more than 100,000 active lawyers in the state of Texas, our State Bar leadership and our State Bar staff, I want you to know we are honored to have you here so that we can recognize the efforts and achievements of our young people. We know many of you have traveled great distances to get here, and so we applaud all of the parents, teachers, and local bar associations who have encouraged these young people to participate in this program. We thank you very much. So after the awards ceremony, that's when the celebration is really going to get kicking, okay? We're going to have lunch in the lobby. That'll be served. And then after that, we're going to gather around 12:30 at the front door for a group photo. And then you're going to get a special treat. You're going to get to tour the Texas Supreme Court and the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. And do you know, you're doing it at a lot younger age than I ever did. So with that, I'd like to call on our kindergarten through second grade winners, Arlette Guzman, Ekaterina Miller, and Lorik Pham, to come and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the pledge to the Texas flag. And then after the pledge, we'll hear from our State Bar President, Tom Vick from Weatherford. If you'll join us, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag, please. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please be seated. Good morning. Very nice job, guys. My name is Tom Vick. I'm a lawyer from Weatherford, and I am currently the president of the State Bar of Texas. As Trey said, we have 102,000 lawyers in Texas, so it's a big job, and it's a pleasure to do that job. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate the importance of the law and its impact it has on our communities and on our lives today. So in 1958, President Eisenhower established Law Day to provide an opportunity for Americans to reflect upon and further understand how the rule of law affects everything that we do, and to sharpen the essential knowledge and skills required to fully participate in our democracy. This year, we celebrate Law Day with the theme of Separation of Powers, Framework for Freedom. Our United States Constitution, as you've learned, set out a system of government that separates the powers into three distinct and independent branches: Congress and our lawmakers in the legislative branch, the President, the Vice President, and the administrators in the executive branch of our government, and the Supreme Court, our judges, and our court system making up the judicial branch. In short, our legislative branch makes the laws, the executive branch and its various departments enforce the laws, and the judicial department interprets the laws. These three branches of government share power, and each serves as a check or a balance on the other. In number 47 of the Federalist Papers, founding father James Madison, who was the fourth president of the U.S., said this: "The accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands, whether of one, a few, or many, whether hereditary, meaning someone inherited it, self-appointed, or elective, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny. Now, that's a pretty dense statement. But essentially what President Madison argued was that no one person or no group of people should control all of the power of government in one spot. His position is that if one person or a group controlled the creation of the law, the enforcement of the law, and the interpretation of the law, then, and we had no checks or no balances, then it would result in a very cruel and oppressive government. For example, guys, if your mom was the only decision maker in your family and held all of the power, and there was no possibility that you could ever appeal to dad or your aunt or a grandmother, you could argue that living under that kind of pressure would create a very tyrannical government. It would be very difficult to do if one person had all the power. So I don't want to start a rebellion in your household, but I think you can see the point. And that's the point of our founding fathers. Madison and our founding fathers saw the path forward to freedom, and it was through the balance of power, through equal but separate branches of government. And so, even though our Constitution outlines the separation of powers, it doesn't end there. You and me and your parents and all of us must be the protectors of that. Our government functions by having an educated, informed, and active citizenry. We must continually work to ensure that our constitutional democracy continues. Our government doesn't run without us. We must all make informed decisions to protect our freedoms. So, for example, the United States Constitution doesn't begin with the words, the courts, in order to make a more perfect union. And it doesn't start out with the legislators in order to make a more perfect union, or even that the president in order to make a more perfect union. It begins with we the people in order to form a more perfect union. And that means you. It means all of you. Moms, dads, children's educators, my fellow lawyers. So I want to thank all of you for being here today. And I'll now ask Bailey Rhodes, who's the president of the Texas Young Lawyers Association, to come join me in announcing and presenting our Law Day winners. Bailey?
Welcome to Law Day. I'm very excited to be here representing the Texas Young Lawyers Association. We're the service arm of the State Bar of Texas, and we're made up of 27,000 young lawyers who get to serve folks across the state. And it's exciting to be here with all of you as we celebrate the 2018 Law Day contest winners. I'm very impressed with the talent and the creativity that's gone into these essays, the posters, and the photographs. Your entries are truly outstanding. And for those of you who haven't taken an opportunity to walk around and look at the artwork that's on display, I encourage you to do so. Now I'm going to honor those who have won awards. So when I call your name and ask you to come up here, you're going to receive your certificate from Tom and then step over and take a picture with him, okay? So we're going to start with the poster contest with the kindergarten to second grade age group. In third place, we have Arlette Guzman. In second place, Ekaterina Miller. Yeah, it's okay. And in first place, Lorik Pham. Now in third to fifth grade, in third place, we have Dagan Sowell, who is not attending today. In second place, Misaki Mraz. And in first place, Victoria Shaw. Sixth to eighth grade, third place, Faith Cooper. Second place is Olivia Owens. And first place is Destiny Flores. And then 9th through 12th graders, in third place, Christina Hoskins. Second place is Allison Duncan, who is not present, and first place is Ashton Goebel. Next, we have the photography contest. In third place, Gabriela Garcia. Second place is Elizabeth Miller. And first place is Montserrat Perez. Okay, finally, we have the editorial contest. I'm going to announce the winners, and then the first place winner is going to come forward and read her winning essay. In third place, we have Joshua Legg. Second place is Jenna Liegeber. Thank you. And first place is Caroline Kennett. Can you come read your essay?
Excuse me if I stutter. I thought I wasn't nervous, but it turns out I am, so. Okay, it's called Ballads. For music to sound correct and create the perfect harmony, there must be a blend and balance of multiple different crescendos and decrescendos. If one note is given all the power and that overpowers the rest, the musical piece will most likely end up sounding like a train horn. Beethoven's use of many different keys and notes created balanced and beautiful pieces that are still celebrated and listened to today. If he played the same note over and over again without the help of any others, people would not know him as the musical genius that he was. Just as balance is critical when playing instruments, it also plays an immense part within the American government. The Founding Fathers implemented the separation of powers into the government to govern the balance between the three branches of government, ensuring that no branch has so much power that it suppresses the others. This system preserves the liberty and freedom that is granted to every American, keeping the authority from being in one section of the government. The American government is set up by the Constitution that issues the citizens their rights. In order to ensure that these rights are sustained, the separation of powers was implemented to control the influence between the three branches of government. This system is vital in order for this democracy to function properly, guaranteeing that no branch has too much jurisdiction regarding the American citizens' well-being. Although the separation of powers is not specifically mentioned in the Constitution, there are a series of checks and balances that keep the branches within their own spheres of influence. These checks and balances preserve the liberty that is prevalent in this country and prevents each branch from having too much influence when making large government decisions. The Founding Fathers constructed this system in attempts to prevent further destruction after experiences with the British monarchy that ruled over them pre-Revolutionary War. Without these government limitations, the American government would be similar to a dictatorship. Majority of the power would be held by the government officials, allowing them to pass and nullify any laws that they please. Despite that this crucial aspect of the government is not explicitly stated within the Constitution, it is the backbone upholding the democracy and freedom that is granted to all American citizens. Separate branches ensure that the government cannot affect her citizens without multiple branches of government passing upon the decision. Without the separation of powers, the musical ballad that is the American government would be a drab, forgettable melody. Separating and dividing government powers sustains the liberty and freedom of the citizens by limiting any one branch's power and authorizing another branch to counter any potential abuse. As Lord Acton once said, power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely. If one man or small group of people had all of the power in the government, corruption would be inevitable. The separation of powers keeps the American government as balanced as Beethoven's Fifth.
Pretty amazing. Well, on behalf of the legal profession, I want to thank all of you, especially our participants in the contest, because as President Vick said, the legal profession, I firmly believe, we make sure that the words, "we the people," always mean something. And as you can imagine, at the legal profession, we aid the courts in the administration of justice. We appear before the legislature and talk about different bills that are introduced, and then we work with the executive branch as well to ensure that the rule of law is protected. And as luck would have it, today we have our own internal democracy going on. President Vick, last year or 2 years ago, was elected by all of the lawyers as the president of the State Bar of Texas. Today is election day in our profession because today we will elect a new State Bar president-elect. So democracy reigns throughout our society, and it's because of people, young people like you, who care and who step forward and participate in our democracy. That's how we keep it alive. So keep up the good work, enjoy the celebration, enjoy your tour of the courts, and be sure and tell Chief Justice Heck we said hello. Okay.